The moment my father shoved the last of my clothes into a trash bag and tossed it at my feet, I understood something clearly. Blood ties mean nothing when money is on the table. We had just buried my grandfather hours earlier. The air still smelled faintly of lilies from the funeral wreaths, and grief still clung to me like a second skin. But for my father, grief had no place. He stood in the study, face red with greed and triumph, waving the thick envelope from the lawyer's office as though it were a trophy. 400 million, he whispered first, then louder, almost manic. 400 million. Finally, it's mine. Then he looked at me, and the joy twisted into contempt. You, he sneered, pointing as though I were a stranger on the street. You're useless now. Dead weight. Your grandfather's gone. No one left to protect you. Before I could respond, he grabbed my arm and dragged me toward the door. His grip was iron, his face set with something I'd never seen before, a hunger so deep it made him a stranger. He shoved me outside, tossed the trash bag at me, and hissed, "Stay gone. You'll get nothing." The door slammed, and with it, the last illusion I had of a father. He wasn't always like this. As a child, I believed him invincible. He was charming, magnetic, the kind of man who could light up a room with just his laugh. But behind closed doors, the mask slipped. My mother left when I was 8, whispering to me in the dark, "Your father's greed will swallow him whole one day." She was right. My grandfather was the only shield I had. He'd sit me on his knee, whispering stories about honor, legacy, and resilience. He'd tell me, money doesn't change people, it only unmasks them. At the funeral, I saw it unmask my father completely. The night he threw me out, I slept in my car outside the lawyer's office. I didn't cry, I didn't beg, I just waited. Something in me already knew my grandfather hadn't left this world without one final move. When the lawyer arrived the next morning, he found me leaning against my car, eyes hollow but steady. "You look like him," he said softly, unlocking the door. "Come inside." He slid a folder across the desk, tapping the top page with a pen. "Your father rushed through the papers yesterday, blinded by the big number. He didn't actually read the will." I leaned forward. The words burned themselves into my memory. "To my son, I leave temporary stewardship of the estate, contingent upon his behavior. Should he act in malice toward my granddaughter, the fortune transfers entirely to her." The lawyer's eyes flicked up to mine. "He's already violated the clause. Legally, everything is yours." For a moment, I just sat there, not smiling, not crying, just absorbing the weight of justice. Then I whispered, "He threw me out less than 12 hours after you handed him the papers." The lawyer chuckled darkly. "Then I hope you're ready, because the empire is yours now." I didn't rush to confront him. That would have been too easy, too merciful. Instead, I planned, quietly, deliberately. I had the lawyer file the transfer discreetly, freezing accounts, redirecting control of assets, removing his name from everything one signature at a time. It was surgical, precise. Each document was a scalpel, each signature a cut. By the end of the day, my father's fortune was nothing more than numbers slipping through his fingers. And then came the final blow. He was hosting a celebration that night. A grotesque display of new wealth, caterers, champagne fountains, music thundering through the mansion. The house that used to be my home was filled with strangers toasting to his victory. I arrived uninvited. I walked through the door in the same dress I'd worn to the funeral, black and understated. The crowd hushed, murmurs rippling as I made my way to the center of the room. My father's smile faltered when he saw me. "What the hell are you doing here?" I didn't answer. I simply turned to the lawyer beside me who carried the new documents. He cleared his throat, his voice carrying over the music. "Ladies and gentlemen, there's been a correction to the inheritance. Effective immediately, All assets, properties, and holdings belong to the rightful heir, his daughter. Gasps erupted, glasses clinked to the floor. My father's face drained of color, then flushed with rage. "This is a joke," he roared, lunging for the papers. The lawyer stepped back. "Not a joke, a clause. Your behavior triggered the transfer." I finally spoke, my voice calm, but cutting through the chaos like glass. "You said I was useless. But it seems, Father, the only useless one here is you."